Great. So, hello.
Hi.
My name's Laurence.
Pleased to meet you, Laurence. I'm Ken.
Ken Midgley.
Yeah, Midgley, yeah.
Great. And you're from, where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from Barnsley. I live in Doncaster now.
Right.
I work for Doncaster Council.
Okay.
A caretaker.
Oh, whereabouts?
Bentley Family Hub. They were formerly children's centres, but now they're called family hubs.
Family Hoops.
Hubs.
Hubs.
Like this is a hub.
Okay. All right. And what? Oh, okay. So you're in. This is sorry, Bentley.
Bentley, yeah.
And is that the mine that you were?
No, I started my mining career at Yorkshire Main.
Right.
Mine. That's at Edlington.
Yeah.
But I did my pre-coal face training at Bentley.
Okay.
And I did my basic training at Armthorpe, Markham Main.
And how long ago was this? How long is this?
Wait,
You look very, very young. I have
Thank
to say.
you.
You can tell me you're 92 in a minute.
65.
Really? Your miners are so damn young. It's ridiculous.
It's all the hard work.
Yeah. Well, you'd think it'd be all that unhealthy environment, but it doesn't seem to.
Well,
Very good. So you were at Yorkshire Main,
yeah.
and sorry, the dates were.
I was there as soon as I left school.
Right.
Left school Friday, Yorkshire Main Monday.
Really? Just
Bit of a shock to the system.
a hell of a weekend.
Oh,
Was it a nerve-wracking weekend?
no, not
Exciting
really. It's
weekend.
just exciting, really, to get out and earn some money.
Yeah.
That's all I were interested in, money.
Do you go straight into the money, or you go straight into training? Does the money come with the training, or?
Oh, it's straight into money, yeah. You get that's what it's all about. Without
Yeah.
money, you're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get paid straight away, but you were on the surface initially, you know, before you don't go straight underground. But yeah, starting on surface as a supplying supplies to miners that were working underground, wooden pit props, that sort of thing, wooden chocks. And
So
that's
this was this is in the 70s or
69
69?
when I started there, and then after a while you sent down underground, but you kept in the what they call pit bottom. You know, that's just at bottom of shafts, because you're too young then to be sent out into what they call districts, where coal faces.
Yeah.
But eventually, as you get older, then you sort of sent out to them places to work.
So how long did you last? How long did your career in the mines?
I was 10 years at Yorkshire Main.
Right. And did you go anywhere else after that?
No, not mining.
So you left in 79?
Yeah, I went out to Australia.
Oh, really?
Emigrated.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Blimey. So back to the mining, then your first 10 years in 69. What sort of mine was it? What sort of mining was it that you were doing there? In the sense of, was it hand cut or was it
No, it was machine cut.
machine cut?
Yeah, they were all advanced faces, what they call advanced faces. 2 tunnels driven. Then they start cutting the coal. And 2 tunnels, and start cutting coal and advance the tunnels and advance the face. Whereas I don't know if you've heard of retreat mining.
Yes.
That's where they drive 2 tunnels to the boundaries, then start taking all that coal that they left in between the 2 tunnels. We never did retreat mining at Yorkshire Main, it was all advanced mining. But our what they call a contractor, tunneler, we were tunnelling, we were doing the driving the, where it had all caved in, you call back rips, and where all the roof and that had all caved in, we were renewing that you know, all that fallen debris, renewing it all.
You're renewing it? What do you mean?
Yeah, well, because it had all caved in, so all the girder work in the tunnels were all broken, bent. We were taking all that out, renewing the tunnels.
Wow. Quite important work then.
Yeah, because it meant to drop down to this height, you know what I mean? You had to scramble through at places.
Was that quite dangerous or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get weight come on, you know, you can hear it all banging above your head.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we're half a mile down there at Yorkshire Main.
So you're dealing with the dynamics of geology.
Yeah, but the ones told us you haven't got half a mile of rock above you that you're holding up with these girders. You're just holding a little bit round that. It's like if you've got a big lump of chalk and you put a drill through it, you know, that hole would stop there, it wouldn't cave in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's same as that, all that rock's solid.
The solid rock. It's
Yeah.
not like it's not like you suddenly got
No.
billions of tons.
No. You'd have hundreds of tons above you,
Yeah.
and you get big voids above you, you know, and you can't leave them voids. They've got to be timbered up.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to get up on top of that girder and.
So what's the most dangerous aspect of that then? In the sense of what is the danger of that?
Well,
work?
you've got roof falls, you've got gas, you know, explosions. That's a big thing.
Right.
I mean, the pit we were at, Yorkshire Main, it was a very gassy pit, you know, because we worked in what they call Barnsley scene,
Yes.
and very gassy, and times when we used to get what they call gas fast.
Gas. Oh.
Gas fast, you can't. They have methanometers that's taking gas readings, and if it goes above a certain level, you can't mine it. In case at least a little spark is enough to ignite something, so all the mining was stopped, and they send you to another part of mine. And it's all to do with atmospheric pressure.
Really?
Yeah. When you get them damp, miserable days, it pushes gas out at coal underground.
Is it?
Yeah. So all the deputies on the pit top on the morning used to take the readings out of what they call control room to see what the air pressure is.
Really? So.
I don't know how it works. I know if it's low pressure, it pushes the gas out of the coal. So that's more gas into mines.
You'd think it'd be high pressure, wouldn't you?
Well, whatever it is, one way or other, it pushes the pressure out of the.
Is that the air pressure having an effect on the surface, or is it air pressure getting into the mine?
I don't know if it's getting into mines or onto whatever, but it's. We were one part of our mine. We weren't cutting coal for weeks, and had to have all these monitors set up, and because it was that dangerous. You know, little spark, because you've got electric down there. You see.
Has it ever witnessed? Does it ever go wrong? Did it ever happen? The explosions?
Well, you won't be here if it goes wrong.
Oh, so it was very rare.
Very
Obviously,
rare, yeah.
You wouldn't.
We won't be here talking if it once that goes. That's. Well, you know, that's why they have fans down there. There's got fans that's blowing air around.
We also have this. I remember deep down. I've been to that museum, the mining museum. Even that pit, that incredible pit, that draft pit that sucks all the air through the whole mine.
That's right.
You have all those doors that close and
Air
traps.
doors, yeah.
Air doors, yeah.
And you've got it going round in a circle, air. You know what I mean? And that's carrying all the waste gas away all the time.
Yeah.
But if them fans go off for any reason, then you can be in trouble. You know. So you've got to keep that airflow going. And you can always tell which way you're walking. If your light went out, you can tell with warm air on your face. If you've got warm air hitting your face, you're walking to face.
Right.
If you've got warm air hitting your back of your head, you're walking away towards out. So you could always get your way out.
God.
But yeah, you've all that to contend with. So
Yeah. There's an incredible amount of science, isn't there? Incredible.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the real thing I've learned. It's an incredible kind of knowledge.
but you
that
get to
people-
know all about gas and all that. That's
Yeah.
all part and parcel of.
But it's geology as well, isn't it? And
Yeah. And faults, that you get faults in mining. You know, you could hit a fault and so suddenly you'd be tunnelling down a tunnel, then all of a sudden that tunnel then starts going up an hill. You know, maybe 50 metres up an hill. And you're following that seam of coal. That coal split.
wow.
So you've got to find it again. So you've got surveyors down there who are telling you where to go. You know, they're telling you which way this tunnel's heading.
Yeah.
They're directing you to coal, to the seam.
Interested to hear how they do their job.
It's clever.
How they work that out.
They do it well, you know, because I mean, they use theodolites, but you need lights, so they have guys using the cat lamp beam. And what they're directing this tunnel to make sure you're heading in the right direction. And what they do when it's central, because it's an arch, you've seen them down underground at the arch, they paint a white line on the centre of the arch. That means that roadway's smack in the centre. And the next ring, you know, that's got to be in centre of that one. But in time, you start going off centre.
Yeah.
And they might only come round every once a week or every twice a week. And sometimes that line can end up outside here. So you've gone off that far. So you've got to fetch that roadway back central again. And you've got to get all water to them parts of mine.
Yeah.
Air. Because all these machines run off air or electric. Cables everywhere. And we were 4 miles from that pit bottom.
4 miles.
Do you know Doncaster?
Well, I'm getting to know it better every day.
Do you know down near Yorkshire Outlet? Do you know that shopping centre?
Yeah.
We were right down there.
Really?
From Edlington.
Underneath that?
Under British Ropes, yeah.
British Rope?
Do you know British Ropes? Bride and Wire?
Yeah.
Car Hill? Right under there.
God.
And Mark and Main Colliery at Armthorpe went out towards Doncaster DRI, you know, hospital.
Yeah.
They had to go round that, leave a pillar of coal underneath it. They couldn't mine underneath it because there was too much weight above it. So they had to go round it.
God.
And you can't just mine anywhere, you've got to mine where they say you can. You hit other people's boundaries, what they call boundaries.
Yeah.
So you can't mine into another pit's coal.
God, it gets very complicated.
And most mines have what they call an egress. That's an escape route out. If your shaft's ever caved in, you've got another way out. And Yorkshire Mains were Maltby Colliery. So they're a tunnel underground from Edlington to Maltby.
God. And they're all still there.
Oh, they'll all be there. And all that mining machinery's still down there.
Yeah.
Thousands of tons of mining machinery that they couldn't get out, it's all there.
Incredible.
And all them pit bottoms, because in them pit bottoms, some of them are really big. They're all brickwork and concrete, so they'll not have caved in. They'll all still be there. You know what I mean?
Mm.
If you could get down and have a look.
God, it'd be amazing.
And that Yorkshire, you see, you've been to Yorkshire Mining Museum,
Yeah.
Cap House.
Mm.
Well, I was talking to a guy there because I've took my grandkids, and they were telling you could walk from there to Barnsley underground.
God.
To different pits, you know.
It's mind-blowing. Absolutely bonkers.
It's all gone now, isn't it?
So you were doing you were fixing the tunnels and all the debris. And
Yeah,
you-
repairing tunnels,
So
yeah.
how big was your crew, as it were?
Three man.
3 of you.
Yeah, 3 man.
And your tools were
Pick and a shovel.
pick and shovel.
Sometimes we had a machine, but most of the time just pick and shovel. And yeah.
And is it a case of each job is completely different, or is it very similar?
Yeah, it's quite repetitive, but you've got the hazards all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what you're doing every day, and you're only advancing a metre every day.
Really?
Yeah. That's as far as, you know. These arches we call them rings.
Yeah.
So you're doing a ring every shift. There's three pieces to it, 2 legs and what you call a bow or a crown. And we'd set that every day, so we're advancing a yard every day. But if there's 3 shifts, that's 3 yards a day.
Yeah.
And there's usually 3 shifts on.
And these
so.
are the tunnels.
These are the tunnels
that feed
that feed,
guys
feed
to-
yeah, they've got to get to face or get back out front face on it. And they'd caved in and we were just like repairing them.
Or were you rebuilding, making your new ones, or was there another team doing
No,
it?
that was another team that'd do that, be Edding team. Yeah,
So what was your team called again, sorry?
back rippers.
Back rippers.
You'd have rippers, that'd be on the heading the new tunnels out, and heading teams. Then you'd have a back ripper like me, who were repairing the tunnels when they all caved in. Because it used to don't just come from top, it comes from floor as well.
Yeah, it used to buckle.
Lift up, yeah, floor lift.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Then you have to get a big machine in to dig it all out. And
Was
that machine's run up that bucket like they call them Einkoff buckets or an Hauser Dinter bucket, and that will run off a air supply.
God.
And the air supply was that big, and you had to stand behind it with a rope. When he drove forward, you used to go, and when he coming back, big Caterpillar tyres, you had to pull that bagging, we call them baggings, airlines, out its way. But you can imagine force that's going through that machine to drive like a mini digger.
Yeah.
Pipes were that big, you know, and they had to be chained together, because if that ever come apart, that'd be flying about, you know, horrendous. People get killed by it. So yeah, very dusty, very hot, and very dangerous at
Yeah.
times.
So obviously to see the floor moving up, back up was a very common.
Yeah,
That around
yeah,
almost every day. That was
yeah,
happening?
yeah. And you get in some pits or some seams where you get lots of water as well.
Yeah.
So you're paddling about in water all day and it's dripping onto your front roof. It's terrible when that's, you know, worse than that. It's bad enough it being hot. You've only got a pair of underpants on
Yeah.
or just a pair of shorts, that's all you wear. Of course you've got your helmet on, but it's that hot, you can't have, you know, it can be freezing upstairs, it can be snowing, but down there it's
It's constant.
90 degrees, you know.
90 degrees.
Oh yeah, it's baking hot. And you know, you could see a bit of newspaper on the floor, you might see a corner of it and dust has got settled on it. You know, there might have been an explosion, they're setting detonators off, you know, blasting face and when that comes all down, what they call return, where we worked, if you had a newspaper on it, it'd just be covered in black dust, you know. It was that bad, you know, you could see all beams of light off your camp lamp. You were choking at times. That's why people chew tobacco, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keeps your mouth moist. And
But you don't seem to have suffered any respiratory.
well, I do suffer with chest infections and I've got asthma, so I suppose that's all been part and parcel of it. But yeah, I haven't got. I mean, my wife's dad, he had emphysema, you know.
Oh.
He only had one lung, and he worked at Yorkshire. He worked at Markham Main, and it killed him in finish, you know. But yeah, but I still love working down there. You know, as dangerous and most people did. It were a brilliant place to work. Good, you know, you knew everybody. Everybody lived in village and you socialised with them, and it was just a way of life. And that's all gone, sort of thing. You know. I mean, a lot of these pit villages have been decimated by it all, but
God, yeah.
I
That is a
suppose that's
common
progress, though. You know.
That's the theme of the whole thing, really. It's a very common observation, as it were.
But we've diversified. We've gone into other things, you know. So.
So
not
your
real.
second, how long did your second sojourn last in the mines?
Not long. I was there about 3 years, something like that. And then my brother-in-law were a foreman on railway, and he said the recruiting guys at railway, they wanted staff, so I decided to go and change career. I went on working on railway.
Okay.
I was there for 17 years and got made redundant.
And what did you do in the railway?
Well, I just started off as a labourer, ended up as a bricklayer, trained as a bricklayer.
Bricklayer on the railway.
Yeah, oh, it sounds a bit...
Transferable skills?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, then I went in maintenance department. So we covered all workshops, you know, where they repaired all locos and wagons, all that sort of thing. Then I got made redundant 3 times in 3 years.
Oh, God. How
I
come?
know. Well, I just went from from one railway works to another. And they were only like temporary basis. You might be there for 15 months, something like that, then got laid off again. Then I thought, oh, I've had enough of this. You can't carry on like this. Got a mortgage and all that.
Yeah, it's stressful.
5 kids and
5 kids?
yeah,
5 kids?
yeah.
God, mining people usually come from families of 5 kids, but you've got 5 kids.
I'm one of 8.
You're one of 8?
My mum had 10 kids. She had 25 grandkids.
Jesus. You're one of 8. How was that? Let's just talk about that first.
I was youngest of 8, so
Really? God.
they all said I had a good life because, you know, they said they had it rough when they were kids, you know.
Wow.
Used to drink out of jam jars, they tell me.
Really?
Couldn't afford cup and sauce, so they couldn't afford cups.
Where was this?
This is when I lived in Barnsley when I...
Barnsley.
My dad, I said my dad was a miner, but he died. My dad died quite young. He was only 43 when he died.
Jeez, so your mother was left with 8 kids?
No, a lot of them were grown up. There were 4 of us left. But she went out to work. She started working, and I think that's where we got his work ethic from my mum. You know, she was a grafter.
Mm.
In fact, she worked for Macintoshes, you know, sweets.
Yeah.
Can you remember them before they become Nestle or
Right.
Nestles, whatever you call it? But we lived in Barnes, and she used to travel all the way to Halifax every day.
Good God.
Set off at 6 in the morning, not coming back till 6 at night. So,
And are your family still alive, the brothers and
no,
sisters?
no, I've got 2 sisters left. And they're 80, one's 86 and one's 84.
Wow.
Yeah, but all the rest of them have all died on. But yeah, they had big families then, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My wife's one of 7, so
Good God. And you've got 5?
I've got five kids, 10 grandkids. One up way.
Really?
I'll get to a football team,
Yeah.
definitely.
I expect to be one on the way for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, my youngest is 30, and they've just had one, so I reckon they'll have another couple, so might get to 15. Cost me a fortune. That's why I'm still working.
I can't even imagine it. So what are you working at now then?
I only work 2 days now. I'm phased retirement.
Oh yes, so you're a caretaker in...
Caretaker, yeah.
Yeah.
Council.
Is that fun?
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love my job.
You can tell actually.
I've been there 17 years and
17 years?
yeah. And it's the first time I've ever worked with women in my life.
Oh God, of course.
Because I've always been in a male environment.
That's
Work,
interesting in itself. Isn't
and
it?
I love them. They're really nice to work for, you know. Yeah. Women, because my mates, so I go out drinking with them, they say, oh, do you get on with women and women boss? I'm having a woman telling me what to do and all that.
Really?
They're lovely.
I say, I mean, it's a bit dated view on life, isn't it?
Yeah. But they're still, you know. But no, I have no problem with it. Wife tells me what to do, so what's... I can authenticate.
Oh, good. We need your authentication. A check. Fantastic. 700 Yorkshire Main.
Yeah. That's you coming out at pit check. That's to see they've come out. You had 2. You had one for going underground, one for coming out. Then you had your pay check as well. And you used to go to a window every morning, just ask for that 700, then they'd give you them 2 checks, and off you'd go to get changed and ready for work.
Yeah.
I kept mine.
Yeah.
Bit of history.
It is.
I handed it down to one of my grandsons. Because I'm telling them now all about me past, and you know, I've done a bit of my family history tree and all that. And because they're not interested now, but in years to come when they get older, they'll think, oh, I want to do me. So I've got it all sort of written down. So they've got a bit of an idea. They'll have a bit of a start, you know.
Yeah. Very good. Well, one of them seem interested, aren't they? There's always one.
Well, yeah, I'd have thought nowadays people are into that sort of thing, aren't they? It's all advertised on telly and that, so. And that's all owned by Mormon Church, you know that.
Sorry?
It's all owned by Mormon Church.
What
You know that Find My Past and Ancestry.com?
Oh, is it?
That's Mormons, that.
Is it? Do Mormons have an interest in that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Why?
They own 4.5 billion birth certificates.
Really?
Yours is there, theirs is there. In Salt Lake City in a mountain.
Why?
Well, that's their religion. I've been to Salt Lake City.
Have you?
Did a road trip last year in States and went there. And you go in there, call it Family History Museum. You don't have to be a Mormon. And they do all your ancestry free of charge.
Really?
Took mine back to 17 summit, you know.
Really?
And they've got 4.5 billion birth certificates. They've got all your details in that mountain in Utah.
Wow. So where did they end up? Where did you end up in 17 whenever? Where's your family?
Well, as I say, back to Barnsley and
What, in 17?
early 1800s. My great granddad, he worked at a pit called Church Lane, which is Dodworth in Barnsley, and he used to. He walked every day. He walked 3 mile there and 3 mile back. And, you know, this is before transport, only horse and carts, and he never went out of Barnsley in his life.
Really?
And then I found out that
This is your great-granddad?
yeah, my great-great-granddad wife, she came from Goole.
Yorkshire.
And I don't know, how that were in like early 1800s, so how she got from Goole to Barnsley, I don't know, and I don't know why, but she did, because I mean, there were no transport then, were there?
No.
Only stagecoaches and horses, and they wouldn't have been able to afford anything like that, so how they got there, I don't know, but...
Walk, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. Sleep in ditches and things like that.
So this is your great-grandmother
Yeah.
and your great-grandfather. How do you know
Yeah.
this information? Is it just something...
This is all on that online, what I've got
so
from...
you get their kind of lifestyle,
Yeah,
what they were doing.
yeah. And I say I knew me. Well, it's all, I've got all the evidence. I've got all the birth certificates, and it says, you know, me great granddad was a coal miner, coal viewer. And tell him which colliery we're at, and my granddad and my dad, and so I know all that. And I've got it all in at home, all that. So when they come to start following that history, they'll be able to pick up on that. You know what I mean? I've started them a little bit so they can. Yeah, it's very interesting once you start going back into it, you know. And your names and all that. And my wife, she did hers. Like when we went, this guy took me and another guy took my wife in this Mormon thing, and we're in there about 4 hours.
Really?
Yeah, fascinating it was. You have to pay for it normally if you're here, but they'll do it for free, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's their incentive to all that?
I don't know. I think some parts. I think they want. You know. I think they're very, very family orientated. You know what I mean? And I think they like to think that you know they want to let you know where you come from, sort of thing.
So it's quite benign. It's quite benign, isn't it?
Yeah. There's nothing untoward, I don't think. But yeah, I'm not bothered. You know, find out where I come from.
So your dad was a miner.
Yeah.
So, but he died at 47.
About 43, 44,
How old
something
were you
like that.
then?
Or 4.
4. So you got no real recollection of him in
No.
his mining.
No.
What kind of mining he did, or what his stories, or his.
Oh, I know about the stories and that, and you know, through war, and because he was, you know, a reserve occupation, being a miner, but he was in home guard and things like that, and which coal mines he worked at, and he worked at about 3 or 4 in Barnsley. So yeah, I know where he worked and what he did and that. But I weren't. It's only what I've been told from my mum and my brothers and that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wish it had still been. I missed all that, you know. All my brothers had it, but I missed all that. And,
Was he a character then, by all accounts?
oh, definitely, definitely. He liked to drink, and he was character, all right. He once went through Woolworths window in the middle of Barnsley on a motorbike. In winter, flying down this hill, and somebody wave shouted to him, and he's put his hand up like that, and next minute bike's off and he went back through Woolworths window. Yeah, anyway. I think a lot of people were characters there. I don't. It's just you know, we did things when we were kids that you can't do today, and you know, we used to swim in lakes, so I used to go bird nesting, and
That's actually a theme.
you know,
Even today, even I've had 2 people who said they were bird nesters. These poor
Oh.
birds.
Wow.
No, thank you.
yeah, I used to love it. It's just, I don't know if you've ever been to Yorkshire Sculpture Park.
Yeah, I have. Is that where you hung out?
I lived about 4 or 5 miles from there. We used to walk to there.
At Bretton?
At Bretton, before it was a sculpture park. There were no, the building was there, the house, but it weren't, I mean, is it something to do with Huddersfield University or something like that?
Maybe
A bit of a
Leeds?
campus or
Yeah.
someone,
Might
anyway.
be, actually, yeah.
There were no sculptures there, but that big lake was there, and I've swum to the middle of that island when I was about 9 years old,
Really?
to a bird's nest in my underpants,
What sort of bird was it?
and got dried on grass. Or an hanky, if you had an hanky, you just get dried with hanky. And I tell my wife, she says, just listen to your granddad here talking about, I swam to the island in the middle, a grebe's nest,
Grebes. Wow.
and I put egg in my mouth and swum all the way back to
Really?
it. But that's what you did. All kids did that. It was no, just part and parcel of growing up. It's just,
Always left an egg in the nest, I suppose.
oh yeah, you always leave one. Yeah, yeah. My wife,
I asked
because
the
my
guy-
wife always said to our kids and to your dad and your granddad, me, I were wild.
You were wild.
I were wild, but I don't think I was, just a normal kid. Everybody did that, and I think she had a bit more of a sheltered life than me. And
What was your best egg?
I don't know, mizzle thrush.
A missile thrush.
Have you heard of that, mizzle thrush?
Yeah.
Stormcock,
'Cause we-
called
Yeah.
stormcocks.
Because I've got
It's
we've
quite-
got mincemeat near me. You see, so
They're quite rare then. They're not. You don't
yeah,
see.
no, missile thrush. Song thrush is more.
Yeah, more common.
But missile thrush is.
Yeah, but yeah, lapwings, you know. But everybody used to have every kid on our estate had a shoebox full of flour with their eggs placed in it, or cotton wool,
God, right, yeah, flour.
stop them rolling about.
Yeah. I mean, even I had a little collection.
In
Did you blow them?
Blow them, yeah. Put a pin in top and bottom and just blow them.
Did you ever lose them that way?
Sometimes you get a swan's egg. Have you tried blowing a swan's egg?
No.
Oh, you'd fill a big soup dish up with it. But yeah, oh yeah.
Did you get into birds of prey? Did you have?
To be honest, there weren't that many, because you've got to realise then where I come from, in Barnsley, it was just like Doncaster had 10 pits, Barnsley had 50 or 60.
Gosh.
I mean, they used to say there used to be one on every street corner. They said if you ever wanted a centre forward out to play for Barnsley, shout down any pit shaft and you get one out. That's how common they were. And it was just full of all spoil heaps around, you know, they were everywhere. There were no greenery. There were no wildlife back in them days.
Really?
No, it was devoid of everything. It was just full of canals and barges. Everything was smoke, smog, everything was filthy. If you got 40 or 50 pits pumping in a small town, it's going to be covered in dust and muck, and
Yeah.
that's just the nature. There used to be loads of magpies. I always seem to, but now, not many magpies, but now you see loads, don't you?
You see tons of them.
Even in towns you see them.
So when you say you're a country boy, the country was a different place.
Oh, that were our playground.
Yeah.
Used to go to woods and rivers and swim in rivers, and but you used to get river pit just up from us, a coal mine called North Gob, that were pumping all its effluent into river that we were swimming in.
God.
It weren't human effluent, it was water out at mine, do you know what I mean? Ochre water, red.
Really? From the iron.
That's iron. That's what it was called, ochre water, that's what we called it. And now we're pumped into River Dern, which runs through South Yorkshire.
The Red River.
I mean, now they get shot for pumping stuff like that into rivers.
Right.
Yeah, same as Don. That was, up until about 20 odd years ago, it was most polluted river in the country. Because you get all steelworks, Sheffield pumping all their stuff into there, and it comes back through Doncaster, doesn't it? So it was devoid of any wildlife here. But now you've got fish in there, and,
Yeah.
well, for the last 20 odd years, 25 years. But yeah, I could write a book.
You should. Last go out in had done.
Yeah, I keep thinking about it, keep thinking, you know.
I suppose if you're starting to record things for the grandkids, you start to think.
Yeah. As I say, I know they're not interested now, but at some I went at their age, but at some point they will be. They want to know where they come from, or
Yeah.
where did my dad come from, or my granddad, or what did he do. Like my wife's family, they come from Durham.
Mm.
They come down here because their pit's closed up there, and they come down to pits down here. And that's how they become, you know, that's how wife's down here, and she was born down here, like, but, you know, her mum and dad were from up Durham. And when he first come down here, he used to go home every weekend
Gosh.
on a push bike.
What?
How about that?
How do you do that?
Go on a Friday and come back on a Sunday on a push bike to Durham.
How far is that? 200 miles? 150?
No, it's got to be 100. It's got to be 100 mile. It's 90 odd mile to Whitby from here, isn't it? 92 miles, so it's further than that. So it's got to be at least 100 mile after a shift down pit.
Yeah.
Slept in edge bottoms or in barns, or
Just to be at home.
just to get back home to Durham, because there won't be any transport. There'd be buses, or, but they won't be able to afford it back in them days. You know what I mean? People could only just afford to live, never mind things like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I used to go every weekend.
Good.
It'd be bad enough doing it in a car nowadays, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I've got to drive back to Suffolk tonight, and I'm
Have
considering to be a challenge, you know.
can see it now, Laurence.
Can you? There you go. All seems wrong to me all the time.
Is it?
No time for reflection.
No, well,
Can't just sit back and think about it. And just work out where it's gone wrong. High octane supermodeling.
well, I'm amazed you've done so much in so little time. Can't believe how it's...
Done with it. Oh, there you go.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Brilliant.
Lovely, thank
good.
you.
There you go.
Brilliant.